Hello and welcome to this lecture on the mean aggregate function. The mean aggregate function is used to return the smallest value from a specified column. When using the mean aggregate function, it ignores null values. Null means there is no value represented for that value, for that data. This is the way you will include the mean aggregate function within a T-SQL query. So after the select keyword, you have to type in the word mean, followed by the parentheses. In between the parentheses is where you would specify the column or column names you want to perform the mean aggregate function on. The from side of the query is where you will specify the schema and the table. The table really is the main thing, but the table is embedded within a schema. So this is how you would specify the mean aggregate function inside the query. So let's head over to SQL Server Management Studio and see how this is done. So I've got SQL Server Management Studio open and I have already made a connection to the database. So this is the database we'll be using for this example, which is the AdventureWorks 2014. So make sure it is selected in the drop-down list. Click on the drop-down list and select AdventureWorks. So this is where we will write our query. The schema I'm going to use is the human resources schema, this schema here, and I'm going to use the employees table. The column I'm going to perform the mean aggregate function on is this column here called sick leave hours. I want to use the mean aggregate function to determine the smallest amount of hours that employees have taken off as sick leave. So let's do that. We'll start with a select, followed by the keyword mean, and then in between the mean we specify the name of the column, which is sick leave hours. That's it there. Okay, and then close the parentheses. So this will be the column that we will perform the mean aggregate function on. I want the output to have a different label, so I'm going to give it an alias name by typing in AS and then specify the name. So I'm going to type in sicky hours. So this is the label that will be displayed on the output. Okay, and I need to specify the table schema first. This is the schema, human resources schema, and then I need to put a dot or a period and it will populate the list of columns I need. So I want, sorry, the list of tables. I want the employees table. The table is always defined in the from keyword, while the columns is defined in the select part of the query. And then end your statement with a semicolon or semicolon. So this is the query we'll need to use the mean aggregate function to find out the smallest amount of hours that employees have had as sick leave or sick hours. So let's execute that. You can see 20. So it's giving me a total of 20. So the minimum hours employees have had as sick hours is 20. When using the min aggregate function or max aggregate function, it will ignore any values that are null. Null refers to values that have not been represented, so it ignores that. So thank you for your time in watching. In this lecture, we had a look at the min aggregate function, which is used to return the smallest value from a specified column. Okay, in the example, we use the employees table from the human resources schema to determine the smallest hours that employees have taken as sick hours. We use the sick hours column from the employees table. Thank you for your time. Please let me know if you have any questions. Try and practice with the examples I have shown you, and that's the only way you're going to get better, by experimenting with different examples, change the values and see how you get on. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'll be more than happy to help. All the best. Bye for now.